What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the True Mets Talk podcast. It is January 9th. Today's episode is an impromptu episode. It's going to be a short video discussing Andy Martino's latest report regarding the New York Mets and a potential budgetary constraint that's been set in place for the rest of the offseason. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner as you watch this video on my way to 400 subscribers. I definitely appreciate the support. Hit that thumbs up and comment all your thoughts and opinions relating to what is said on this podcast episode and the latest report from Andy Martino. Likewise, make sure to follow me on all my social media handles at CPNYSPORTS, both on Instagram and X for all of your latest podcast updates and more New York Mets talk. Without further ado, let's talk about some New York Mets baseball. All right. I really didn't want to make this podcast episode because I do realize that it is an Andy Martino report, but today has been a little bit of a slow news day for the New York Mets, so I figured why not just entertain this report from Andy Martino and what he said on SNY at 6:30 p.m. on January 9th. First and foremost, a little bit of updated Mets news. They have been linked to multiple relievers on the market. Wandy Peralta, probably the headliner of those reports. If you haven't checked out my podcast episode, my Mets updates as of January 8th dropped on the channel yesterday. I talked about David Robertson, Wandy Peralta, Justin Turner, and a whole lot more. It's going to be in the description down below. Make sure you go check that out because honestly, it directly feeds into this report from Andy Martino. He has stated that the Mets have set a budgetary constraint that they are only looking to spend roughly $10 million more this offseason from now on January 9th until the very end. Now, obviously, this Mets offseason has been headlined by Harrison Bader, Luis Severino, and most recently, Sean Manaea, making $14 million a year. So it makes you scratch your head with the way this offseason market has played out in every category, whether it's the starting pitching market, the hitting market, or the bullpen market, how the New York Mets intend to fill the presumed roster holes that I talked about on yesterday's podcast with the DH, with the bullpen and that eighth inning man, and perhaps another starter with only $10 million to work with. Now, like I said, Andy Martino didn't seem too confident in that $10 million marker. He did say it was a ballpark. So we can guesstimate anywhere between $10 to $15 million. But in any case, in this offseason market, you're going to be hard pressed to, one, make a deal for that value to start with, let alone sign multiple players to that budgetary constraint. And if that's the case, then we're going to be seeing a whole lot more of the guy on your screen right now in Mark Vientos because you can kiss any sort of upgrade at the DH position goodbye. If we only have $10 more million to work with this offseason, Justin Turner is not coming here. Jorge Soler is not coming here, and JD Martinez is not coming here, and the Mets are officially going in-house with Mark Vientos. Now, this is a big if. I understand this is Andy Martino. He reports on the Mets with bias, and it's not good bias. When you look at how he reports for the Yankees versus the Mets, it's very evident. I'm not sure who gives him a bigger check or which team he just likes more, but it's very evident the discrepancy between the two. But I will say, on the other hand, that he does have insider sources related to the New York Mets, or else he would not be employed by SNY to cover the Mets in some capacity. He foreshadowed the Luis Severino signing the day that it actually happened. So I'm going to take this report with a grain of salt, but I will entertain it as being somewhat factual, which concerns me. It does concern me because as of my podcast yesterday on January 8th, like I said, if you haven't checked that out, go on my channel, check it out. It's going to be in the description down below. I talked about how uneasy I was with the current outlook of the starting rotation for the New York Mets heading into 2024, with Senga and Quintana headlining that, followed by Severino, Manaea, Hauser, and Lucchesi. That rotation concerns me without another addition. The DH position and the lack of production concerns me. Are we taking a gamble with Mark Vientos? I'm not saying Mark Vientos isn't a capable power hitter at the major league level. We haven't seen it yet. I'm willing to give him a chance. But in that case, I'm not even sure I have my sights set on the wild card. I'm not even sure I have my sights set on the wild card if that's the case. Just objectively speaking. Now, I can see Mark Vientos having a great season with a bulk workload. I can see him hitting 20 to 25 home runs as a DH. But he's not going to provide that protection for Pete Alonso that a presumed DH signing would, like a JD Martinez or a Justin Turner. Mark Vientos is not going to provide that. No matter how many home runs he hits, no opposing pitcher is going to be scared of Mark Vientos because he hasn't done anything in the league yet. So it concerns me if the Mets' plan is to win ball games and simultaneously go in-house for the DH spot, whether it's DJ Stewart or Mark Vientos. And the report alongside this $10 million budgetary constraint, according to Andy Martino, is that the Mets are focused in the bullpen market with this $10 million, which isn't obvious. We are missing that eighth inning man to set up Edwin Diaz, who's coming back from an injury. We need consistency and success in that eighth inning to set Edwin Diaz, who hasn't pitched in a year, and it'll be over a year by the time he hits the mound opening day. We need that eighth inning man. Now, $10 million, this budgetary constraint, if indeed it's true, and I'm not saying, and I'm not jumping to conclusions, I won't undermine Steve Cohen in his pockets. I won't undermine David Stearns' plan. I haven't all offseason. I won't start now. But this smells like a David Robertson reunion if it's true. If you can recall 1 year for $10 million, David Robertson at the beginning of 2023, this smells like a David Robertson reunion for that eighth inning role. Now, like I said, in my podcast yesterday, I estimated this Mets team needing 3 to 4 more roster moves and roster upgrades between now and the end of the season. We'd be lucky with one at $10 million. And I know $10 million isn't concrete. You can call it 10, 12, 15, somewhere in the ballpark. But if that's the plan, what are we doing here? Because it's not going to be winning that many ball games. It's not setting the lineup for success. It's not setting Pete Alonso up for success. So, like I said, the estimated 2024 payroll via Spotrac. Actually, this is via Fangraphs. I apologize. Spotrac is at 306 million. Fangraphs is at 308 million. I switched that up last second, so I apologize about the graphic. But it's currently at $308 million. That is taking into consideration tax penalties, arbitration values, the whole 9 yards. It's a rough estimate. So we can project anywhere between $305 to $310 million after the Sean Manaea signing. So I would understand with it being a bridge year and us accepting it being a bridge year, I would understand that $10 million, that constraint given $308 million already being on the presumed books for 2024 with the roster shaking out to be, let's face it, mediocre, a fringe wildcard team. We've accepted that. But it's just disappointing. And I know a lot of Mets fans are going to be disappointed as well. If this holds true, what you see on your screen and what Andy Martino is saying, it's hard not to be disappointed. Very hard not to be disappointed. So, like I said, If it's true, expect to see a lot of Mark Vientos. We've been speculating all offseason who that big bat was going to be for the lineup, and we'll see if that even comes to fruition. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think this Andy Martino report is fact or fiction? Or do you think it's semi-fact or semi-fiction, given that he did say it's a ballpark? It's not concretely $10 million. I will caveat that. He did follow up on his Twitter account stating that as well. It's in the ballpark. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more Mets content for all the latest New York Mets rumors and reports. And hit that thumbs up. I definitely appreciate the thumbs up. It helps support the podcast more than you think. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you for the support. Follow me on all my social media handles at CPNYSPORTS. You know exactly where to find me for more New York sports talk. Keep an eye out this Thursday, 7:30 p.m., January 11th. I will be going live on the True Mets Talk podcast with a very special guest, the first ever True Mets Talk podcast live stream. Set your calendars, hit that notifications button to not miss out on that live stream and any future True Mets Talk podcast episodes. It's been the latest episode of the True Mets Talk podcast here on January 9th. As always, let's go Mets. It's your boy CP. I'm out. Thank you for watching the latest episode of the CP New York Sports Pod. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit that thumbs up, comment your thoughts and opinions, and use the lower right-hand button of this video to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.